It's one of the only places in Oregon that ice forms up, and we've kind of been watching it for a couple weeks, watching the weather, making trips up there every weekend just to kind of make sure that it's forming and it's cold enough.
It is a sight to behold when the 80-foot-tall, double-plume Paulina Creek Falls freeze. It's also a challenge that beckons to a rare breed of outdoor enthusiasts, ice climbers.
How do you climb on ice?
Climbing on ice involves technical mountaineering boots, crampons, which are spikes that you attach to your boots, and then you have ice axes in your hands. For ice climbing, we call them ice tools. They're a little more technical than just a typical ice axe that you think of.
Ice climbers wear helmets to protect themselves from falling ice. Particles of ice disturbed by their axes, crampons, and ropes rain down on the climbers.
Ice is graded essentially from 1 to 6, 6 being incredibly difficult, 5 being difficult, 4 being, you're getting into the difficulty. And I would say that in general, what we were climbing on was somewhere in the 3+ to 4 range. So kind of upper level of intermediate into the more difficult.
Ice climbing is the most technically advanced form of climbing. It does use many of the same ropes, harnesses, and anchor systems as rock climbing. What sets it apart are the skills needed to do it safely, an acute awareness of the constantly changing conditions.
And you guys climbed a few different routes. So, they were within a matter of 30, 40 feet of each other.
Yep.
But they were different because of what? What changed on those routes?
Unlike rock climbing, where you can climb the same route a dozen times and you're going to make the exact same moves every time because there is a handhold here and a handhold here and a foothold here. On the ice, you're kind of making your own path up every time. So you can climb the same route multiple times and it's a different experience every time.
It looks potentially hazardous. You have to know what you're doing. How do you learn this stuff to the point where you are comfortable and you are safe?
If you're really interested, travel somewhere that has guiding services, that has consistent seasonal ice, and start that way. That's the way I started. It's the way that most of our climbing party this weekend started.
Part of the joy of ice climbing is seizing the moment when conditions are right. A couple of days after this group made these climbs, the weather warmed and the ice melted.
So it's a new challenge every single time you walk up to the ice.
And it's always in a pretty spot where there's ice forming over a water.
Certainly, yeah. It's always in a pretty spot, and it's typically in places where there aren't a lot of other people. So you get to go places that not a lot of people go, and then at a time of year where even fewer people go to those places.
From Paulina Creek Falls, I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.